Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. This evening's topic: the simp culture is holding us back. The simp culture is holding us back. Yes, I said it. You know, as I go around the circuit, both in the black sector and the Caucasian sector, what I'm discovering is a bunch of males who have become absolute simps. They don't understand what it is to be a man. Now, we all as men have our own definitions of what being a man is. Now, I find a number of these guys to be emasculated, not just by the single mom culture, but by what they watch on TV, what they see in the movies, and how they allow their spouse or partner to treat them. Now, let me switch over to the black sector for a moment, because that's what I deal with for most of my times being on YouTube. Now, in the black sector, you always hear this gender war. Now, from my perspective, I don't believe there is a gender war. The individuals who have the problems on YouTube are the masculine men and the simps. This is where all the beef is. And the simps are basically jealous of the masculine men. Now, Brother LAR Movement, shout out to him, brought up the difference between your professional alpha males and your matriarchal alpha males. And what you have in the black community is a lot of matriarchal alpha males. And what I mean by matriarchal alpha males is that most of these alpha males believe that getting a man is based on how many women you get. This is why brothers in our community don't lead. And I don't care if you live outside the community, you're still black. But when it comes to the simp culture, I don't understand this, but why do you men who are simps want to be simps? And simping is a choice. Now, for those who don't know what a simp is, the definition of a simp is not someone idolizing mediocre pussy. It's basically someone who's looking for validation from women. The problem with that perspective is that a number of these women, they're not going to respect you. They're going to use you. Because we have a lot of simps in the black community, a lot of these simp men don't have any real standards. So they will allow any woman to come their way without questioning them. But looking at the real tussle between black men, of course I did a video of black man versus black man. A lot of your simp men are very envious and jealous of the masculine men, because they want to be the masculine men. The problem with these simps is they're too effeminate. They're very, very emotional. You can't have a debate with them. In fact, some of these simps are worse than women. Now, when we look at our inmate population, We know 40% of the inmate population is made up of African American Negroes. Now, looking at that whole demographic, you would think all of these Negroes did some heinous crimes. Now, I have been into some of these prisons, particularly over here at the one in Michigan City, Indiana. And some of the brothers who were in jail, I've questioned and I asked them, what are you doing in jail? Brother told me that most of the men who were in jail aren't in jail over child support, bad checks, white collar crimes. They're in jail because of a woman. Not because they put their hands on a woman. It's because they met a woman and they thought they owned the woman. And what they did, they thought they could be Captain Save-A-Ho. So they went out and tried to save the woman. And they shot another brother for what that woman told him. And at the end of the day, he's now serving life behind bars while that woman's running free. The bottom line, I can't blame women for men being simps. If you look at the rap culture, these rappers are wearing different colored hair, a bunch of earrings, they're tatted up. They don't really have any talent. Because rap music, in my opinion, when I grew up with the Fatback Band singing King Tim, and believe it or not, that was the first hip-hop record that went commercial before Rapper's Delight back in 1979. A lot of people don't know that. But with these rappers today, most of them are simps. They talk tough, but they're not tough. Yes, they sing the lyrics about gunning somebody down, i.e. 21 Savage, having a bank account. But at the end of the day, most of the simps are weak men. Now, does this come from no fathers being in the house? It could be. What I believe is the mainstream media wants to do everything to emasculate all men because they believe that masculinity creates the rape culture. And you have a number of men who don't understand that simping causes destruction. And matriarchal alpha males in the black community also cause destruction. Why? Because neither of those males build. They're not about business. They're about entertainment. How much pussy they can get. The bottom line is, when it comes to simps, simps don't have a high opinion of themselves. Now in this video, I'm not going to use the term beta male. I'm going to keep it real. A lot of black males today are soft. They're weak. They cannot connect dots. You talk to them about some politics, and you don't agree with them, they cry like women. And you simp men gotta wonder why you can't get a woman. These women don't want you. They want to use you. So when it comes to simping, I believe simping is a choice. If you want to be a real man, you got to take the responsibilities of a real man. Be accountable for your actions. And you can't cry about it. A lot of these brothers who are simping really have the mindset of a vegetable. And I first started to see this in the late 90s and early 2000s. I mean, look at these simps, what they wear. Skinny jeans. They act feminine. And the problem with a number of these simp brothers, real people who are causing a problem to us, they won't go after them. Certainly they can pick up a gun. Anybody can pick up a gun. But a gun just makes you look like a punk. And you have a lot of these simps out here who make poor decisions in life. And what these simps do when it comes to women, they make it bad for all of us. Why? Because a number of these women know how to manipulate these simps. And the simps, because they're not confident in getting any woman, they will allow this narcissistic, immature, and this buffoon behavior by some of these women, and they won't check it. And the reason why they won't check it, again, because if you look at it all, it comes down to sex. And with these simp brothers being emotional, trying to save a woman who doesn't care about them, the simp suffers. He goes to jail as a felony. And once he gets in jail, he's not so tough then. He's not tough even when he has to go to court and he's about to be sentenced by that judge, and that judge throws that gavel down and tells him he's going to get life in prison. He's calling his mom. Mom can't save you. Mom said, knock you out. Now, going back to what I said about how simps are destroying the community, it's because you got too many of them out there. And a number of you fill these women's heads by telling them what they want to hear. And a number of women think that they can treat all men like that. And again, brothers, women know if you have confidence in them. Women are not stupid. Women know if you're a simp. And what's happening on YouTube, and Brother Hardcore Tito said it last year, and I've also said this. Brothers, haven't you taken a look at the beefs on YouTube? Now, like it or not, Tommy Sotomayor had his own brand. And you had a number of brothers going after Tommy Sotomayor. You don't have to like his content, but Tommy Sotomayor got big. And you're talking about a brother who wears a lot of stripes. Because of his channels being flagged down, he comes right back up. And there are a number of brothers who are envious of Tommy Sotomayor. They want to be Tommy Sotomayor. Again, a simp wants to be a masculine male, but he doesn't know how to be a masculine male. In fact, so many simps, when they don't get their way, they become misogynists. They hate women. I see simps every day. Now, of course, where I work for the Indiana Department of Transportation, I see a number of white boys from simps. And some of these guys act like that father on Modern Family. He's the guy, I forgot his name, but he has the domineering wife who's not working, the 3 mouthy kids. And this is what's coming out of it. Fathers today. Now tomorrow is Father's Day. Shout out to all the fathers out there. But as men, what do we do about the simps? We're not going to be able to bring all of them around. But we have to learn to bring some of them around, because the simps, they're going to continue to be destructive. Let me give you some little suggestion here. Be honest with who you are. When it comes to women, you got to know what you want in a woman. And when you meet a woman, you don't put her on a pedestal, because you don't know that woman. You vet that woman, because she's going to vet you. And too many of you simps don't have any standards. And when it comes to standards, that's another issue. Some of your matriarchal alpha males don't have any standards either. But when it comes to the simp has an insecurity problem. He's jealous. That's why he's emotional. He overreacts. He cannot connect dots. You can't put a gun in a simp's hand, because the minute something doesn't go his way, he's going to think like a female and use it. He lives in a mind of emotion. I've always said emotion clouds critical thinking. Real men know how to solve problems. Real men can talk to each other. And the funny thing about social media with these simps, and I see it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You will not support another brother's page on YouTube, but you will spend all of your money to support these women on YouTube. And they don't care anything about you. That is funny to me. I'm going to some of the women's pages, and all you're doing is telling them how good they look. You're not listening to their message. And a number of you simps out there have this imagination that you're going to sleep with these women. You're not going to sleep with them. And the bottom line, when you're on YouTube, flagging brothers' channels down, because I know there are a number of simps who are doing that as well. Because I've had some negative comments on my pages, and they weren't from women. And when I go on Guy King's channel and put a comment out to the topic, a number of these simps respond to the topic and my comment because they don't agree with it, like a female. Well, at the end of the day, who's really winning here? When it comes to black men, none of us are winning. And how are we going to go ahead and tell our women about leading when we don't want to lead? All we want to do is have fun, most of us. If many of us had an inkling about leading, we wouldn't be on social media as much as we are. Now, when it comes to simping, we need more of you hardcore brothers out there to talk about this issue. So many of us talking about what sisters are doing. I don't talk about what black women do. Why? because I'm a man. We can't talk about somebody else when we don't handle our own issues. And at the end of the day, as black men, we're all losing. We don't own anything. We're a laughing stock. We don't connect dots. We're insecure. We're soft as a Tootsie Roll. We don't care about one another. And for the most part, we cry like women. Now, some of you are not going to like this video, and that's fine, because you need to hear the truth. Because I'm pro-man, and I'm trying to promote some real manhood. But there's just too many of you simps out there that don't understand what's at stake here. Too many of you are afraid to take on women when they're wrong. Too many of you have too much envy for brothers who are getting women. And I'm talking about you simps out there. Too many of you women are in fashion, just like women. You can't have a conversation. You use shaming tactics. You like to argue, to get violent when something doesn't go your way. You hate yourselves. And as a man, I'm going to tell you this. You got to stop that simp. And the problem with you simps out there is some of you have become traitors. You bought into this feminist narrative. And you hate men just like some of these feminists do. And if you had your choice, and I'm talking to you simps out here, you would like to destroy men who are masculine. And I think a number of you simps, I don't want to use the word think, I just believe a number of you simps are uncomfortable being around masculine males. And I'm going to tell you why I think this. Deep down inside, some of you simps are switch hitters. You want a piece of man like you want a piece of woman. In other words, you want some dick just like you want some pussy. And some of you simps who were in jail and now are out are going both ways, and you're bringing in your diseases to the black community. Now again, I'm just telling you simping is dangerous. So you don't have to prove to anybody what being a man is. Your actions are going to do that for themselves. But at the end of the day, brothers who are simping, I'm just preaching love to you. There's nothing wrong with giving a woman a compliment. When you're trying to smooth her to get in her pants, this is what you all want to do. You gotta learn to be honest with yourselves. Every man has his own style of talking to women. Too many of you are looking for that validation. You don't need validation. Validate yourself. Because when I'm talking to a number of simps, they seem very angry. Just like women. So on YouTube, when I told this to Reg the Bad Guy, got to slow down here and look at the demographic of what's really happening out here. Yeah, are there some women who are causing a problem? Yes, but I believe it's the men. And this has been going on for a long time. Remember, the game stays the same, but the players change. Too many of you simps out there you enable a number of these women to get away with what they get away with. You can be a man, but you got to understand what a man is. And if you look at the simp too, we always talk about the single mother. But do you know the simp father, he also raises his daughter not to need a man? He calls his daughter a princess. Calls his daughter his baby. There's nothing wrong with calling your daughter your baby. But you got to let your daughter know that she has fallacies. And the real world is not going to care about her. But too many of you simp dads out here, you are afraid to be responsible. You're afraid to make a decision. You're afraid that that woman is going to walk out on you if you don't do what she says? That's crying shame. And see, this video isn't directed toward women. It's to check some of these simps out here. Because I've been seeing it lately also on television. Just men allowing themselves to be emasculated. Not just by women, but these politicians. Now I can understand why a number of men want to go MGTOW. I'm talking about the real MGTOW brothers, not the angry MGTOWs who are using MGTOW as a scapegoat because they're having a hissy fit over women. Those aren't real MGTOWs. In fact, those angry MGTOWs, some of them are simps themselves. Because they want women again. They can't get them. Now, black men and men across the board are having a hard time. We're making it hard on each other when we go back and forth with each other. And I don't go back and forth with any men, just like I don't go back and forth with any women. But now I will defend myself if necessary. But a number of you simps also are immature. So here's the last thought. The brothers who are simple. Stop living in the world of emotion. Stop being jealous of successful men when you can be successful. Learn about what's going on out there. Be positive about yourself. And don't look for women to validate you. You validate you. Because at the end of the day, it's your life. There are plenty of women out there, good women out there. But women should be the first thing on your mind, simps. getting yourself together, making sure that your money's right, your education's right, and you got the career that's going to make you happy. You should focus on you first, and that's the MGTOW philosophy. Learn from some of these other brothers like yourself and MGTOWs who will steer you in the right direction. Because once we can reduce simping in the black neighborhood, we can have men who want to be leaders. Because the community is made up of all of us. But at the end of the day, brothers, stop simping. It's causing problems within our community. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Saturday, June 16th, 2018. You can tune into the 411 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. I've been doing a lot of my Blog Talk Radio shows in podcast format, so if you missed the live show, you can always click on the link at the bottom of my videos. I'm also on Twitter and Facebook. But if you catch one of my live shows, guest calling number is 215-383-5785. If you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube, so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional, mature perspective. Also, on this channel, I don't engage in debates, controversy, or emotional issues, nor do I participate in drama and or unnecessary bickering, because it is counterproductive. What I do on this channel is teach. This is a self-awareness channel where I want my content to be realistic but positive, because once you understand how the real world works, you'll succeed. And if you have a business, a topic, or a new YouTube channel that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, simply email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment at the bottom of the video in the comment section. And make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering, if you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other, and have a wonderful and blessed day. God bless you.